Welcome to the King and Chapman Show. It is Friday, May 24th. I am Brent Chapman, and with me is the original Fab One, Jimmy.
Yeah, B. Your creativity is really impressive. Like, it just gets better and better, my brother. How you doing today? What's up,
we're
bro?
gonna have to split all those up.
Right. Absolutely.
Like just
make a
one
whole montage
yeah.
of the Jimmy King intro. I love it.
I still think my best one was the Thursday show. That one was pretty good, Jimmy.
They're all my favorite, B. I love them all. I love the way you make me feel when you say it. It just rolls off the tongue so beautifully. The vibe is good. The energy is good. I love it.
Now, Jimmy, when we do our first live podcast at the NBA Retired Players Association golf charity event, should I, as the players, you know, the retired players come up that check in and they come talk to us, should I intro them like that? Welcome to the show, Ed Too Tall Joe.
Yo, I think they'll love it. I think they won't be expecting it. It'll be something fresh. It'll be, you know, as they're walking in, catch them off guard. Yeah, we gotta make a lot of noise.
What I'll do is, Jimmy, I'll have the mic and I'll hold it like this, and I'll get in the real serious, like the announcers do, right? And I'll go, now entering the arena.
Make it like boxing.
That is.
I love the intros to boxing. They're beautiful too.
We keep, we are gonna obviously be on ESPN someday, Jimmy. But maybe I could be like the next Michael Buffer, also.
Yeah, you already have. Listen. So you could be the next Michael Buffer. You already have. Well, we're still working on WWE, right? You're the commissioner. Right.
I'm working, and I'm the commissioner of my own boxing association. So I think that if I could definitely do the announcing for the fake boxing league that I'm the commissioner of. It definitely would be good. I could do Iron Mike Tyson for sure.
You're a league that has 30 rounds.
Dude, it's just fight till you're done. I mean, it's like fight till there's an end. Like, what is this quitting? It's so nonsense.
Listen, you gonna get some guys that don't quit, and the cat gonna knock his block off for real, like just knock his head off.
No,
Take it off.
It's not. They'll eventually just throw in the towel. It'll be great. It'll be great.
No, you got two warriors. You're gonna get a camp that just gonna let them go, and something bad is gonna happen.
Jimmy, speaking of never, ever, ever, ever throwing in the towel, our Dallas Mavericks are up 1-0. They took game one in Minnesota at the Target Center. There he is. That's right. Luka Doncic.
Magic.
Dude,
Luka,
Jimmy.
Magic.
Luka Magic. They won this game 108-105. And Jimmy, it didn't look great. They were kind of behind the whole game. They were behind by 15, I think, at one point. But Luka just see, the thing with the Mavs is if you don't get up by 30 and you let them stay in it, which basically they're just kind of hanging around down 5, 6, 7 the whole game. And then they get into the fourth quarter and it's freaking over. So Luka, 33 points, stellar performance. Kyrie showed up when he needed to. He played defense. Anthony Edwards wanted Kyrie. Well, he got Kyrie. He only scored 19 points in that game. So he got shut down. It's what I expected it to be, a tight game. But my thought, and we talked about this when we did the previews, was I just expected Dallas would win these close games, and that Minnesota is too inexperienced and too young, and Dallas would pull these type of games out. So they already now have got one on the road. So Jimmy, can the Mavs keep it going? Keep the mo rolling.
I do believe they will win the series. However, I think that Minnesota are going to make adjustments, and I think they got too much of a dog mentality in them to get swept. I don't believe that the Mavericks, although I think they're focused enough, I don't believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves will allow that to happen, particularly with Anthony Edwards leading the pack. I think they're going to make adjustments. You know, who knows? It might go like the Nuggets series where the Mavs win 2 on the road and Minnesota win 2 on the road. You know, who knows? But
no,
Anthony Edwards calling out Kyrie Irving is the reason why Kyrie played the way he did. Kyrie was going to show up regardless, but he got Uncle Drew Kyrie when he called them out after the game when they beat the Nuggets.
That was
and that, like I mentioned a couple of episodes ago, it was going to be the difference. Kyrie is going to be the guy.
And you were right about that. And I think I'm going to say this though. I think now, Jimmy, this could get us some controversy here. What I'm about.
Yeah, we love controversy. We ain't scared of controversy.
I think Ant Edwards at this point in his career is overrated. There you go. I don't think he's that guy yet.
You know what? I'll agree with you. I won't push back on that because at 22 years old, you know he's going to get better. And just from historically, we know everybody pays their dues, and he's going to have to pay his dues. And we're going to see that this series. I can go with that. B.
I think that's it. He's not. It's almost like people are looking into a crystal ball and can see how dominant he's going to be in a few years. He's not there yet.
No, he doesn't have the experience at the level. Like he can will you. That's why I said like they're going to win a game or two because he's that much of a dog.
And they've got other great players.
Like you said, in close games, like we witnessed the other night, them coming back, Dallas coming back. I mean, with under 4 minutes left in the game. That's kind of how it's going to go down.
I think so. I mean, look, and Cat's a great player, and Gobert's a great player, and you know, you need to really be what people think they need. You got to have that guard like an Ant that's really excelling, and they don't have that. I don't think he's that yet. So
well, and also too, I think they need another superstar scorer. That, you know, kind of like the Batman and Robin of Luka and Kyrie. I think Anthony needs another guy that can when Anthony gets 19 like he did the other night, his partner can pull off the 30, 35.
That's right. So Jimmy, we're going to stay with basketball and we're going to talk about the all NBA first team. I would like to read it to you. It includes Dallas Mavericks guard Luka Doncic, Oklahoma City Thunder guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
SGA.
That's right.
Shai Gilgeous.
Sorry. Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo. And as you let leak on our show yesterday, Boston Celtics forward Jason Tatum.
JT.
Jimmy, before I ask you if they got it right, I want to tell you something here. So they changed the rules. I don't know if you knew that. Mm-hmm. And the rules are that players like Embiid and Donovan Mitchell and Julius Randle and Jimmy Butler, you don't see them on here, right? Where are those? Some of those guys were on the team last year and they had good seasons. Well, they made a new rule that you're not eligible unless you play at least 65 games. You cannot win any of the top awards unless you play at least 65 games. So because of that, you're missing out on Embiid and a Donovan Mitchell. So did they get it right? Is this the right five? Doncic,
No,
SGA, Giannis, Tatum. Is that it? Is that the right five?
yes, they got it right. That's probably the best five. And again, when you do these types of lists, it's subjective. You know,
What
there
about
are other
what
players who
about
are
Jaylen Brown? You don't think he was deserving?
correct. Well, that's what I was getting at. Like even like JT's teammate Jaylen Brown deserves some looks. I mean, he's just as important as JT on the other side, on the other wing. Even playing, in my opinion, two ways better than JT, playing defense and locking up the the opposing offensive guy usually. So it's again it's subjective. Typically it might come down to a popularity or who's more uh, popular when like if you compare him Jaylen Brown to JT, although they're teammates. But I think they got it right, and it's such an honor to be first team all NBA because it's such a hard thing to get.
It's an incredible deal because there are so many good individual players in the NBA, and it's not two teams, it's one team. It's essentially the top five players. It's incredibly prestigious. It's really awesome. It's tough. And I think saying you got to play 65 games makes it fair.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that circumvents the issue that the fans were having, and some of like former players, having that, guys are getting accolades. They're not really, playing. They're low managing and
Let me ask you a
sitting out.
question, Jimmy. Where I got one. I think they got it right, but I got one that I do think is missing. And I might have put him over Jason Tatum. And that's Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks.
Hey, my guy.
I mean, that
JB.
That
they
guy
call him Big Body Brunson.
Yeah,
and that's like my surrogate son. And I did mention about MVPs, him being my dark horse. Yep. Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown, and SGA were my three dark horse picks.
Now, Jimmy, another one that I'll point out on this list that got quote unquote snubbed from this injury rule is our own Prestonwood Christian Academy, Julius Randle. Recently inducted into the Prestonwood Hall of Fame. First person to have their jersey retired this past year. See, if he wasn't injured, he wouldn't have been able to come to the jersey retirement. So there was a benefit. Jimmy, it would be interesting once we start having guests and interviews. We should have the Prestonwood head coach on our show.
Absolutely.
That would be an incredibly interesting interview to talk to head basketball coach of one of the top
Mr. Jeff Clarkson. That's my guy.
That's right. One of the top programs in the country. And
also, let me draw a through line for you too. So Julius Randle, right, went to Prestonwood.
Yeah.
I played with his uncle, Nate Randle. He was one of the top players in the Dallas area. So we played together AAU basketball.
Oh, AAU before you went to high school. And to add to that, you also his coach. So was Clarkson Randall's coach also?
Was Clarkson whose coach?
Was Jeff Clarkson coach with Julius Randle was there? I don't know that.
I think
or was he still at Plano East at that point?
Yes, I think I believe he was.
Yeah,
but that's a question we have to ask him on the show.
We'll have to ask him on the show. That's right. Well,
you have to find
Coach
out if
Clarkson coached Jimmy's, alma mater, Plano East, to a state title.
Right. That's the through line. That's the other side. Is that Nate and I played together when I played at Plano East and he played at South Oak Cliff. So Plano East, Jeff Clarkson also played there, but in my era, because Jeff was a few years
He
younger
was
than
a
me,
few years younger than you. That's right.
his sister was the
Yep.
chick. She was like Caitlin Clark then. She
He
was a
did
killer.
tell me that as well. And you know, we want to tie all this together, Jimmy. My son is starting to play on Coach Clarkson's team this
Oh, we
year
love
in
it.
his
We love
in
it.
his program as well.
Oh yeah,
So
we
it
got to
all
get the
comes
video of him
together
working
on
out.
the King and Chapman show.
That's right. Get to his game. Oh yeah, we love all levels of sports.
I think it
Support
would be
everybody.
I think it would be interesting to have him on at some point and talk about that high level of prep basketball. But moving along, Jimmy, to a another WNBA topic. We are rocking. We are leading the way. I would like to see Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee talk about the WNBA as Jimmy King and Brent Chapman do. That's for sure. We got a great topic. The Toronto has been awarded the WNBA's first franchise outside of the United States, and they will begin play in 2026, so it's still a few years out. Larry Tannenbaum has led the group that will be paying, and this is what I mentioned on our previous show, Jimmy, $115 million for the team. That's a slight less than the $4 billion that an NBA franchise costs, but still. And that also includes the cost to build the practice facility. So Jimmy Tannenbaum is also the minority owner of the Maple Leafs, of the NHL, and of the Raptors, and of some of the Canadian football, the Toronto Argonauts as well. So he's involved in sports in the Toronto area. So it's good to get a guy in there that knows the area and can be an ambassador to it. So Jimmy, the reason why I brought this up is because you were drafted by the Toronto Raptors.
Yes.
And I want to ask you, from personal experience, having played and lived there, was Toronto the right choice for WNBA's first international team?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I saw this article, or I heard about Toronto getting a WNBA team, I was like, that's the perfect city, because they're going to get the support. The ownership group has a hand in 3-4 other different professional teams. They're successful in the Toronto, Canada area. So, Ontario, Quebec, wherever, they're located. Well, really, yeah, in Ontario, in the Toronto area. So it is I think that, they always do their due diligence, and usually they get it right. But I 100% know that they got it right this time, because the sporting world, the underworld in Toronto, is very big. And since you bring it up, one day I'm gonna wear a ring and show you a ring that I got from a community that does youth basketball in the city of Toronto, just to show you how big or how serious they take their youth sports, and minority sports, and even women's sports. So yes, the WNBA got it right with it in Toronto.
Well, give me that low key prop for the people of Toronto. That is awesome to hear. Look, I'm a Buffalo guy. Toronto's like the closest major city we got. They were always good to the Bills. They came down and supported them. We had the whole subway. They had the whole series thing, where we played games there. When I was a season ticket holder for the Bills for a good decade, I think, lots and lots and lots of people came down from Toronto for every home game, and it was really awesome. So didn't have an NFL team. The Bills were their NFL team, for the teams that wanted, for the fans that wanted to support that. But my experience with them was great. Fan base. Sounds like you had a great experience. It's going to be, that's really awesome.
They're very supportive.
I'm excited.
They're knowledgeable of the game, like other great sports cities like Philly, Detroit, Dallas. They know the game,
and
they're
now
going to support them.
Yep, and I am segueing from the Buffalo Bills into an NFL topic. which is and Jimmy, I brought this up because I love the insincereness of this because we know what it's about, Jimmy. It's about money, 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 money. There he is, the money man. Oh, I think it would be better for the players to play an extra game. I think it would be so wonderful for the local communities. No, Roger, we know what you're thinking. Ready, Jimmy? Money, money, money.
Absolutely. Money. but you know what though, B? Like, of course, it's a business. This goes back to the NFL or any draft. It's a business. You think they're just gonna randomly take anybody or have somebody go to a team that they don't want to go to? No. They're protecting that bottom dollar.
We're back on your conspiracy theories.
It's all connected. That's how they get us, right? You can't overlook one thing. It's all connected.
So, Jimmy, do you think that 18 games is better for the NFL schedule?
They already have 18 games. They're just going to switch over the preseason game, right?
That's right.
And just add it and just make it a regular season game. And like you said,
right. Money, money, money.
Yeah.
So they have 3 preseason games and 17 regular season games. They're going to take one preseason game and move it to a regular season game.
I ain't mad at it.
Incredibly insincere. It is incredibly insincere of Roger Goodell to make it sound like that's the same thing. That is not the same thing. The players will tell you that half these guys don't even play in the preseason game. So no, they're playing an extra game, and it's all about money. It's not about quality of the game.
All day.
And so you know what? I can't answer that. Is it better? I don't know. It's better for Roger Goodell's $40 million.
You have to grow the business, right? It'll get stagnant. You know, you don't want it to go under. It's not going under. I'm just saying, but you have to grow it. So instead of expanding or getting an expansion team, get an extra game. So guys who don't usually play may get more time and more minutes. It's one game.
Nate, we should have had the picture of me with Roger Goodell a couple of years ago here in Dallas at the draft. He kind of
you know what it is, B.
No, but he picked
B. You know, look, he slipped you a note in your pocket and everything. You know what time it is.
Well, he kind of picked us out of the crowd because we were wearing Bill's stuff, and he is actually originally from Buffalo, I think.
We got to get Roger Goodell on the show.
That's right. That one. After seeing this, my guess is we ain't gonna get him. Although if he comes on, can we play his theme music? Money, money, money.
Hey, he ain't mad at that.
All right, Jimmy.
He might come on with his robe on. He might wear an ascot. Yeah, because he's getting
NFL, Jimmy.
Getting that paper.
Jimmy, from the NFL to something I literally know zero about, except for it's a green ball and a racket, is the French Open. The French Open starts on May 26th, somebody's birthday, and runs to June 9th. It is being hosted this year at the iconic Roland Garros Stadium in Paris, France. And it's the thing that makes the French Open special for those that don't follow tennis is it's a clay court, whereas Wimbledon is a grass court. And it features rising stars this year like Carlos Alcaraz and Iga Swiatek, who is just kind of crushing the women's side of everything. And Jimmy, here's what we got though. We've got Rafael Nadal, one of the best tennis players of all time, is at the end of his career, and he's been suffering from injury lately, and he's coming back and he's playing in this tournament. But what we have is that man right there. Novak Djokovic is won last year and is looking to repeat. So what do you think, Jimmy? You think Djokovic can get the repeat at the French Open this year?
It's a tough order. I think this one of those games. It's hard to take time off, especially from an injury. Playing on hard courts, clay court is not as forgiving as grass, so injuries may arise a little bit more and kind of hinder them. But I think Novak has a good chance to repeat this year.
I will say this, Jimmy. I will say Rafael Nadal is going to, the old wily veteran that's coming off injury. He is going to find his way. I can't read that, Nate. we got to get Nate on a mic. We got to get Nate on a mic so he could just
Oh
talk.
yeah, just chime in. Absolutely.
We just got to get Nate on a mic so he could just chime in. I'm okay with having the engineer. Pat McAfee does that. He has those guys on camera, and they should not be on camera. They should not. Those guys are some ugly dudes and should not be on camera. Right?
Right. They're not as handsome as us.
Wait, is that Nate? What were you going to say, Nate?
Nadal.
Rafael Nadal. Thank you, Nate. See, there we go. We got Nate on the show. We're going to have to do that a little more frequently. So,
Nate, dog.
Nate, do you know anything more about tennis than Jimmy and I? Who you got? You got Djokovic repeating? Oh. Okay. All right. Well, we'll if we can hear your mic, we know to continue to talk to you in the future. All right. Last topic tonight. The Philadelphia Phillies. We're going baseball to end this. Now, why are we talking about Philadelphia? Now, I have a history, and we'll go into this a lot in the NFL season, Jimmy. I have a history of going after Pittsburgh fans and Philly fans. These are my favorite targets. But today I'm going to talk about something good. The Phillies are on a winning pace that hasn't been seen since the 2001 Mariners, which that team set the Major League Baseball record of 116 wins in a season. So by beating the Rangers on Wednesday 11-4, they've now improved to 36-14. This isn't just the best record in baseball, but it's the best record through 50 games in this past 24 years. So the Phillies manager, Rob Thompson, was quick to note that if you're thinking they're going to win the World Series, you should look back on what happened to the Mariners that year. They did not win the World Series that year. They lost to the Yankees in 5 games. So he was saying, hey, just because we're on some record-setting pace, we got to keep playing. We got to keep grinding. This doesn't mean anything. What do you think it means, Jimmy? Are the Phillies the team to beat this year? Can they get the World Series championship?
Well, so I think you have to be, cautious and pay attention to history. I don't think it's about winning the best regular season record. I mean, there's nothing bad in that. It's not the goal. However, the focus can get lost on trying to break the record. I remember when the Mariners were trying to do that, trying to get 116. I could see some of the slippage. They lost some of their focus just trying to beat the record. And they succumbed to the Yankees in the playoffs. So it'd be nice to get the record, but I think their focus should be on winning the World Series. And if they stay focused on doing that and they in the interim, break the record, then that's good. That's cool. All good and dandy. But I think their focus should be on winning the World Series and not the regular season record.
Jimmy, I have coached since the time that I was in college. I coached youth soccer, and then I coached varsity soccer at the high school level. And then since I've had children, I coach football, right, pretty regularly. A lot of people know that. And so One thing that I learned in those situations is, and when I had successful teams, is I focused on, we have a goal, which is to, play and learn each game and improve and get better with a goal to win at the end. So it doesn't matter what happens in this game. It doesn't matter. And I think you got to stay focused. It doesn't matter how many regular season games you, dude, one of my teams pulled one of the biggest upsets in Michigan history. We had 4 wins and we upset the number 2 team ranked team in the state and district.
That's awesome.
Because the focus wasn't about we had 4 wins, 5 wins, 18 wins. It was we have a goal, and that's to win districts. And so it doesn't really matter until you get to that.
That's a perfect example. I'll give you 2 examples of that same thing. When I was coaching basketball at E-Course outside Detroit, the basketball team in E-Course, the basketball, shout out to E-Course Raiders. They haven't won a district championship in 35 years. I didn't even know that. Yeah. But my focus was getting them better. We started out 0-8, and community was losing their mind. But I stuck with it, right? Because I had to change the culture.
That's right.
And when they got it, we won district for the first time in 35 years, the same season.
There you go.
We started out 0-8. And the same thing, right? Youth sports. I coached my son when he was young, my youngest son, Malcolm. And when I would coach, it was actually the NBA. It was called the Junior NBA. And I coached the Junior NBA. We have these teams. We have this draft of all these kids. And I would never draft the top kids, because I was like, give me the kids that y'all don't pick. I'll take those guys. And we would go 0-8, 0-10, but they're young. Everybody makes the playoffs, but we would win the championship.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, it's all about, like you said, building a culture, doing the right things, the protocols, the teaching them the proper way to approach the game.
You know what's funny about this is, what's funny about what you just said and what I said is, and what the manager Rob Thompson said, it doesn't matter if you're 8 years old or 18 years old or 30 years old. It's the same. You got to stay focused on the end goal. And that's very interesting that we all have that same conclusion. It seems like the Phillies have that conclusion. So I think if they stay grounded, they might do pretty well. They might be the team to beat this year. So Jimmy, that wraps us up for tonight's episode. And I'll go to you for the last word first tonight. What do you got?
So the last word for me tonight is the WNBA got it right. First team WNBA team in Toronto. The support is going to be tremendous, phenomenal. The city is great. That's one of the greatest cities I've ever been to in the world. That's one of my top 5 cities. So that being said, kudos to the WNBA for getting it right, for choosing the 6.
Jimmy, my last word is, it is Memorial Day weekend this weekend. And it's also Brent Chapman's birthday weekend as well.
Happy birthday, B!
Thank you very much. That's not why I stated that. I stated that my wife and I are going to Charleston, South Carolina. We've not been there before.
Beautiful.
To hang out and spend a couple days. And I'm also going to see my favorite band perform on Saturday night. Need to Breathe, a band most people probably don't know, but just put it on. It's awesome music, and I'm very excited. I got 3rd row seats. I got a little meet and greet before the show. I get to meet the band. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Don't get wild, B, and jump on stage, man. I need you for the show. All right, you wild while you wilding out at the concert.
It's not that type of concert, Jimmy. It's not gonna be too wild. I think it'll be a nice show. It'll be their rock. It gets loud. They're jamming. It's rock. They're jamming, but it'll be a good show. I'm looking.
What's the name of the group again? Need to what?
Need to Breathe.
Need to
All
breathe.
one word.
I love it. Need to breathe. Need to breathe.
They're awesome, dude. Well, I'm just excited to spend the weekend with my wife. The kids will stay at home, and we'll have some much needed husband and wife time. Yes, where we can just kind of chill out and enjoy Charleston. It'll be a lot of fun. So happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody. Jimmy, happy Memorial Day to you. And that's it for tonight. Peace.
That's it. Peace.